Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? I need a break.
I wasn't ready for that one. Surprised me with that one.
Okay.
We're good. Welcome back to the GamePad Saga Podcast. I'm Eric.
Kishion.
And today we're going to talk about wrestling games.
Ooh, okay. First off, before we go any further, do you remember the name of that song of that lyric I just sent?
No, I do not remember the name of the song.
Okay. Do you remember the album it came off of?
No, I don't.
The Godzilla that was made in the 2000.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The Godzilla soundtrack?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
I think it was either that or Toy Soldier?
Toy Soldiers. Small Soldiers.
Small Soldier, yeah. It was one of those two soundtracks.
I have to listen now.
I don't know. Comment in the comment section on YouTube. Let me know where that song came from.
Let us know.
Let me know if I'm right, because I think it's one of those two movies.
Mm-hmm. One of them. So wrestling. So when did you start watching wrestling?
Well, before everyone in the household, that's for sure, because everyone made fun of me for watching it.
Really?
Yes, you did. Don't even start. Don't even start.
Watching in 93, but then I stopped watching. Then we made fun of you for watching again?
Yes. You're watching that fake stuff. Ree would fucking get all up on my case, and you would get all up on my case. And I think Dad watched a few times with me when we were living in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when he started
way
getting
back.
Yeah. I was watching it in elementary school. And I remember Dad came home one day and he was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "I'm watching wrestling." He's like, "Oh, okay." He sat down with me. It was kind of like the first time like me and him bonded.
Mm-hmm.
And we would watch wrestling together. And then when we got our own rooms, we watched wrestling separate. But I mean, I could only watch TV in the front room at that point. But yeah, I would watch WCW or WWF, or I'd switch between the two because, they were like in huge like competition with one another. And, some episodes were better than others on either or, right?
So did you ever have a preference?
I didn't actually. Okay. I just watched it.
I got you.
I watched it. I had favorite wrestlers on WCW. I had favorite wrestlers on WWF. At that time, I my little mind, you're being told like, "Hey, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad." And you could see the differences between the two, right? Like WCW had some edge to it,
right?
Where fan interaction was a huge thing. Like people would throw things on stage and all the rest of the good stuff when they're pissed off.
Yeah.
But the WWF fans didn't do that. They kind of had like a little bit more class, but at the same time, like the storylines for WWF was more adult.
Mm-hmm.
If that made sense. Well, WWE, sorry.
Listen, it's WWF.
It's WWF. You're right. You're right. But I need to.
The Wildlife.
The World Wildlife Federation.
Okay.
So yeah, first off, I commend you all with the World Wildlife Federation for doing the things you do. I love animals.
Mm-hmm.
I love cats. I semi-love dogs, depending on what dog it is. But you know what? Fuck y'all for fucking that up, for real. Because how you gonna get mad at that? How you gonna get mad at that?
And I don't know how long it went on. I just remember it changed like in 2002. I remember coming home. I was like, WTF? What do you mean?
WTF. That was good.
But hey, I mean, it worked out in the end. And, I always repeat Vince McMahon's quotes that he made. That
You're fired.
That he's in the business of entertainment.
Yeah, he did well.
Sports entertainment.
He did well.
World Wrestling Entertainment, so it's kind of fitting in a way.
I mean, sad to hear about all the craziness that he'd been doing the last few decades. But
yes.
I mean, does it surprise you?
No, not at all.
No, not at all either.
Does not.
What? Vince McMahon did that? There's no way. He would never. No, he would. You got money.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Diddy.
Yeah.
Look at Diddy.
Money's power.
Yeah. Money's power. Power's money. And you do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think you can do whatever you want till someone steps up and says something. But
yeah,
that ain't the case today.
Now we're seeing a lot of them fall now. So, hey.
Yeah, we are. and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If they are shitty people, yes, I am here for it.
Yeah,
I am here for it.
yes.
So yeah, that was my first experience. Well, my first watchings was, oh well, I guess I could take it back to when I was like super young.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one wrestler I met, actually, Eddie Genetti.
Really?
I met him, yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
When Rhea and I went to go live with Auntie Ann for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
they had like a little wrestling thing outside of Walmart. Because we were in Bessemer, Alabama, I think it was. And they had this little wrestling event.
They would meet wherever they could.
Yeah. I mean, they would. I mean, especially, Eddie Genetti was like in his older ages at that point. Because I remember seeing him on TV. And I believe Eddie Genetti was in the WWF, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I met him. I had a Yankees hat, and I got it signed by him. And I have no clue where that Yankees hat is.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, dumb little old me.
We've
back in the day.
Things like that, so.
But I got it signed. I got an Eddie Genetti signed hat, and fucking nowhere near to be found.
Poof.
And it was free too. You know how most times you got to pay for autographs.
Right.
First time I mean, that was the first and last autograph I've even gotten. So, especially in like real form. Well, I guess like back when I was super young, like I've watched it, but took a break, and then in elementary school, like late elementary school, I picked it back up in 6th grade, I think it was. And then had some buddies. We watched it. We would go and come in middle school, and we'd talk about it. Like, oh yeah, did you see this? Or did you see that? Like, oh man, it was so crazy when this happened. And they're like, oh yeah, well this wrestler sucks. My wrestler's better than yours. And then you like get into almost full on fist fights because of it. It's like,
that's not how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was back then. What about you?
Yeah, became a fan in 93. And then shortly after that, I probably stopped watching after a year. Do you remember one time Pops and I went up to Richmond and WCW was at the Coliseum.
Oh yeah, WCW.
And I was like, oh wow. Of course, I tell him, hey, let's go. He's like, no.
Yeah. Nah, we ain't going.
Then the day of, he's like, oh, let's go. I was like,
all right, Dad, fine.
But that was my first experience witnessing, I guess, a live event. That was pretty cool. I always go back and watch, I guess, that taping of Nitro.
Oh, that was a Nitro?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But I was more of a WWF fan. But, wrestling, I enjoyed them both.
Yeah, wrestling was wrestling. I didn't really have a preference. And then ECW came about a little later.
I never watched
ECW. ECW was insane, bro. Like, it's kind of like, ECW is like the AEW of today.
Okay.
It was insane. Like, you had more people going through tables, more weapons being used, more barbed wire. The fans were even more interactive with this. Like, you go down the stage, they'd be like slapping them and all this good stuff. Like, holy shit, these dudes, these dudes are.
So
nuts.
They were like getting involved, I guess. The fans getting involved.
Yeah, I mean,
wrestlers.
I don't think they were supposed to, but they allowed it. They let it happen.
I can see that.
And it was like they wrestled in these like arenas that were like really small, and they had like upper balconies.
Just like when Raw first started on the air, wrestling in New York. I forget the name of the location, but yeah, small little venue. Oh man, and it'd be like, oh my god, were they at the Caesar Palace or something like that? It's like, this is like the way it looks really nice, but it's like super small. So I'm just like, okay. But ECW was interesting. Was the only guy I can think of, the only two people I can think of that were in ECW, 3 actually, was Tommy Dreamer, Taz, and Rob Van Dam, and they all went to wrestle in WWF at some point afterwards. God, I don't know. I enjoyed Taz, but he couldn't stay healthy in WWF.
No, he couldn't. I mean, I don't know. Taz was kind of a one-trick pony.
I can see that. Yeah.
He's kind of one-trick
Had
pony,
his
like
submission move.
Yeah, and then maybe a couple power moves, and that was it. He wasn't super athletic. I mean, he wasn't. He was a small little guy, you know. He was brolic though. He was brolic, big boy. But he was a small little guy. Kind of had that 3-lined like fucking goatee that he had. looking like Silver Israeli from One Piece. You know? But yeah, I mean, those are only three I can think of in the ECW that were like that really kind of stand out to me in memory right now. But yeah, but I watched all three.
Mm-hmm.
The only time and when I stopped was when everything was merging.
Okay, so you're in 2002.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I stopped because I was like, this storyline sucks. I hate it so much. Like all these wrestlers are coming in and now it's WWE versus ECW and then the WCW comes in and it's like, man, this is chaotic. It seems like there's no end to this and there's no rhyme or reason on what's going on. Right. It's just people fighting each other. And it's
so
like,
you went longer than I did. I stopped probably shortly after 2001. Like I came back watching again late 90s, 99, 2000, but then stopped watching up 2001.
2001.
So I missed all of that invasion angle. And
yeah, I didn't care for it.
I try to, every now and then I'll search to see what's out there. But most of what I found is kind of more contract reasons why everything was all over the place.
Well, I mean, they were, I mean, McMahon was trying to buy up everything anyway at that time, I'm sure.
Everything for cheap, yeah.
And then was it Eric Bischoff still is part of the WWF?
I don't know if he's still a part. I haven't looked recently, but they all seem to be a part, not a part. So
yeah.
And you know, they're great at blurring the lines, so you never know who's who, who's where.
Yeah, what's what, who, what, when, how, and why.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, was it 2001 was when SmackDown came out?
2001, I think it came a little bit before.
On Thursdays.
Yes, on Thursdays.
And I just recently found out it's on Fridays, like last year. And I was like, wrestling's on a Friday? And Dad looks at me and goes, where you been at? I was like, what are you talking about? I don't watch wrestling anymore, Padre.
Yes. So the SmackDown, I guess, show aired April 29th, 1999.
99, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember because it was The Rock's show.
Yes. So taped on Tuesdays, released on Thursdays. But now
they had 2 nights of wrestling back to back.
Yeah. They probably did a house show Saturday or Sunday. So, I mean, they're on the road. Imagine just 30 guys going on the road.
That bus must have stank.
But then when the invasion angle came, it was, I don't know. I figured it'd be good because it beefs up the locker room. But then you got all these influx of people that probably haven't seen, you know, especially if you didn't watch both promotions. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Where's, Stone Cold, The Rock?
Yeah. And I think they were all gone for a little bit just because maybe contract reasons or injuries or whatever. But
early 2000, Rock left, obviously do movies. Stone Cold was hurt.
Yeah, he was getting up there and he was getting hurt quite a bit.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, now SmackDown's live on Fridays.
Oh, it's live. Yeah. No wonder Dad sits and watches it.
Now it's live.
I didn't know that.
I was like, wow.
Man, you would think like, being in the sports realm, right? Sports is somewhat entertainment in a sense. You would think that they would be like these companies, or in my case, when I played college, that they would, kind of protect your well-being. They really fucking don't. They really don't. So we're playing games. We're practicing every day. We're going to play games. We get one day off. We're back practicing again on Monday, full pads.
Oh my gosh.
And not saying that it's different from wrestling. It somewhat is in a way, but you get wrestlers that they, like you said, they do house shows over the weekend, and then they do live Raw, and then on Mondays, and then throughout the week, God only knows what they're doing.
I'm sure it's changed a little bit now since, most of the big names are quote unquote part-timers, but
yeah.
And then Vince is no longer in charge, so, I think Triple H is a good guy. He understands.
As I gotten older, I've come to find out that Triple H is one of my top wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because you always loved Triple H though. You always
did.
loved him, and I was like, oh, both of them are bitch boys. Why does he love Triple H? Triple H is such a turd, and I'm like, you're a turd for liking him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I hate Triple H so much. But looking back at it, and looking back at, I would say, looking back at how he made opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and done it well, that's what I respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he played the heel so well.
Yes.
He was a multiple champion, and just how he carried himself in the character, he did so good.
Yeah.
He did so good. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I can't. It's kind of like LeBron James in basketball, right?
Right.
When I was younger, I used to like despise him for the whole thing he did, because I was rooting for him when he came out, right? When he got drafted and everything like that. I think he was the last guy that got drafted out of high school.
High school, yes.
And then I was like, oh man, like this dude's gonna be a beast. And his first year he did well. Second year he did great. I think his second year he took him to the championship, or took him to the playoffs at least.
Yeah. It was with Cleveland. They
Yeah.
can't really build a team. I don't know why.
Money, man. At that time,
That's true.
at that time, and talent level,
No one wanted to go there either.
No, but the talent level in the NBA at that time wasn't all that great. I mean, there were still good players, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but all the good players that we grew up watching, they were all old and retiring.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Went through this shift of
so it was just like just like a college team with a bunch of young guys, a bunch of young freshmen and sophomores out there trying to play against other juniors and seniors, basically. Yeah, LeBron, I used to despise him because he did that whole decision.
Oh.
And I'm like, it took you 3 hours to tell us where the fuck you're going.
Yes.
And then you made this a whole fiasco. Now, mind you, one of my coaches, Corey Fry, love you, man. One of my coaches explained to me that he goes, that money went to charity, right? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't. But still, that's stupid. Why he did that?
Waited all day was he at like a Boys and Girls Club?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All fucking day for you to say this.
I mean, that's great that it went to charity, but
you didn't have to do all that. You could have done that quietly as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could have done that on your off time.
Well, again, this is when do you go to Miami?
2004, 2005.
Okay. So social media is kind of
2006.
Social media is kind of in its infancy. Then everything about, well, I guess companies use branding, but players starting to use their own branding identity type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's kind of took that opportunity. But yeah, he could have, because at the time it was nothing. No one really did that. Make you wait all day, be like, where are you going? But
I can't tell you yet.
Using the media to your advantage.
Yeah, and you know what? More power to him, right? Because that made him money.
Yes,
made him money. But yeah, at that time I was like, man, what a fucking sucker. Why would he even do such a thing, right?
Right.
But as I got older, my disdain for him was so strong after that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized, like, I'm being dumb. I'm being stupid. I'm just disdaining him for really no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not a valid reason anyway. And you look at his body of work, and everyone says, well, Jordan's greater, whatever. I'm not of that argument. I don't care about that argument because it's two different eras, number one. Number two, you can't compare one person to somebody else. Just like you can't compare yourself, what your road of life is, to someone else's road of life is. Because if you do that, you're going to drive yourself insane.
Yes.
And for us to, especially people our age and older, for us to say, oh, well, back in the day and Jordan, all the rest of the good stuff, just fucking stop, okay? Just stop. Like, seriously, stop. Yeah. Because we have such great talent that's in front of us right now. Okay, the game may be a little different than what it was, right? It's not as physical. It's still physical, but it's not as physical. But you've never had anyone shooting from half court like Steph Curry has.
No, not at all.
You've never seen a physical specimen like LeBron James. If LeBron James was a selfish player, that man easily could put up 40 a night.
Mm-hmm.
Easily 40 a night. But he doesn't. That's not his play style.
No.
And everybody is like, oh, LeBron could have did this, LeBron could have did that. He went to the championship 10 years in a row, 9 years in a row, and lost like how many ever?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Who do you know can do that in a row?
Not many people.
On different teams at that.
Right.
That's impressive in itself. Who cares if he's won 4 championships? He's a champion, just like Michael Jordan. Oh, what's the common denominator? They're champions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people got to stop with this stupid ass argument. Like, seriously, it's not even like a debate at this point. Because people just need to get out of their fucking asses and realize, like, you're experiencing something you're never going to see again.
Yeah.
People don't hold on to that type of stuff. And especially with wrestling. There's so many opportunities, so many experiences that we are never going to see again with some of these wrestlers. But one thing about wrestling I do like is that you don't ever hear anyone compare anybody to anyone else. You don't. You don't.
No.
Because everybody understands that every wrestler is unique and every wrestler has their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect about wrestling. Even though I don't watch it anymore, everyone is given respect due to the people in the past and present.
Oh yeah, they're big on that. Yes, like a family type thing.
Yeah, and it's I think it's great, and I think this is why wrestling is what it is today, because people can accept newcomers coming in. People can accept new things anytime. Well, I mean, okay,
The Rock, because everyone hated him, but that could have been
for coming back.
No. When he did the whole Rocky Maivia thing, and then I started watching, like, because I had the Peacock app, so I was watching, all of the Raws or whatever, try to see that transition, like what had happened when he came out Rocky Maivia. But, usually when a wrestler gets injured, sometimes they repackage them, and they kind of, I think they started calling him just Rocky. Then he got hurt again. Then The Rock came in there somewhere, and they paired him with the Nation of Domination. And then he kind of got rid of that cartoon character, and I guess flourished under the Attitude Era type thing. Because it was great.
That was a great era. Yeah. That was a great era. So that was probably one of the best eras, to be honest with you. Not saying that the other ones weren't great. Look at Macho Man Randy Savage. The cream of the crop, baby. The cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Macho Man had some awesome ass fucking promos. And I think at that time, weren't theirs live? Weren't they the ones that started that? Like with Scott Hall and all them? Weren't they the ones that started that? Because usually they were taped.
Yes, you're correct. WWF was taped. WCW was live. Yes. And then eventually...
Insane. That's insane. That is insane.
Right. And eventually WWF caught up and went the live shows on Mondays. But yes, speaking of looking back, I always use Kurt Angle as an example. I feel his character was great. I disliked him. And I was like, I don't like this character. But he did great at what he did. And I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I really appreciate Kurt Angle and what he did.
I appreciate all his painkillers, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't have done it without it.
Right. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like Kurt Angle's character either.
Oh, yeah. But,
I mean, aside from his outside stuff, I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy because, you're addicted to that stuff. You're not the same person.
Correct.
You're a completely different person. And I hope he's got the help he needed. I really do.
I think so. But then again, I really don't follow them. Yeah, I don't keep up with them anymore.
Yeah, I really hope he's got the help he needed.
But
shout out to Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. It's true. It's true.
It's damn true.
So there's a slew of wrestling games out there.
We're gonna highlight on the important ones, really, to be honest with you. So, I mean, we could talk about the bad ones too.
Yeah. So the one that I'm gonna highlight, and your BFF friend Ian, the one you beat up.
Hey, let's not. All right, do we have to go into this story?
No, we don't.
No, we'll go into it now since you brought it up, because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, who the fuck is Ian?"
All right, go ahead.
All right,
now I'll go with the game.
So
afterwards,
here's the deal. All right. I'm not a very violent man. And those who listen to this that I know that are at work and all the rest of that good stuff, hear me out. I was like, 10 years old, 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know any better. I just knew to protect my brother.
Yeah.
That's all that was. So Ian is I guess a neighborhood friend of Eric's. And he would come over and hang out with Eric. They'd play games or whatever. And sometimes he'd play like football or baseball or whatever with us, with the neighborhood kids that, we lived at the apartment complex we lived in. So, I'm not proud of this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm over here. I'm proud of talking cash shit because that's what I was doing. Proud of that, right? Because if I got it, I'm flaunting it.
Right, yeah.
And we were beating the other team's ass in baseball. And we're like, yeah, blah, say, blah, woo-de-woo, right? So it's time to go. And we won on a W. I'm still talking shit. And Ian takes a baseball and he chucks it and hurls it at my little brother. I think he was supposed to hit me, but he's a terrible aim because Ree was at least like 3 or 5 yards away from me.
Right.
Hits Ree in his forehead. Gashed him open. I see my little brother fucking split. I'm like, what is going on? What just happened? Who threw this? And I turned around and said, who threw that? And Ian's like, I did. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm glad he admitted it. He had straight up admitted it. So you know what? I straight up just didn't say anything else. I proceeded to walk over to him and I punched him square in his fucking mouth. I did. I square in his mouth, knocked him down, got on top of him, started pummeling him a little bit, rolling around. The man got me by the neck with his forearm. Yeah, you laugh because
you're trying to picture this.
Because you came in late. You came in late to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we're rolling around. He's got me by the neck in a headlock. And I've never been in a headlock before. I'd never been in one. And I thought I was going to die because he was on my carotid and I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do something. I bit him. I bit him right in his arm.
Gotta do what you do to escape.
I pulled the Goku. I bit his ass so hard. And he was like, oh, he bit me. I got rabies. Oh my God. He screamed it. Yeah. He screamed at the top. It's like, I got rabies. I said, no, you don't, bitch. Bah! But yeah, knocked him back down. I get on top of him and I'm just like raining elbows on his face. And Eric comes and he pulls me off of him. Now, mind you, there's a neighborhood adult. There's a neighborhood apartment adult watching.
Popcorn.
He's watching this. He's actually, he came downstairs.
Oh, wow.
To actually facilitate the fight. to be honest, now that I think about it, and so
keep it clean.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's what he was doing. He wanted it fair. I was like, all right, cool. I like this guy. And so you pull me off. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And you said something. It's like, hey, I'm just getting my brother off his friend. He's like, oh, that's your brother? Well, your other brother got a baseball thrown at him. You remember he saying that? And he's fighting him because he threw a baseball. You were like, oh, handle your business. You said, handle your business. And I was like, fair enough. Go back on him, raining elbows some more. And it got to be a point where it's just like, all right, is this too much? I got to stop.
Right.
So I got up. I'm crying. I'm fucking profusely crying. I'm like, I can't believe I just fought somebody for the first time ever.
Just all that emotion.
Yeah. And yeah, even when I get like pissed off like that, I just feel I was like super drained after that for like a couple days. And even today, I feel like that sometimes when I get like super amped up about something and I'm like, what the fuck? Like this, that, and the third. And it's like, man, like I look back at it and like, man, I mean, I don't regret it, but I feel terrible for doing it because I never regret things. The only reason why I don't, I mean, maybe, all right, let me rephrase this. I don't put things in regret. I put things as, man, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or I wish I didn't do this.
Like reflecting on it.
Yeah. But I never regret things or I never put things in. Okay, let me rephrase that again. I'm not going to say I never regret things because obviously I want things, when things happen when I don't want it to happen, like it's not so much a regret. It's like, fuck, I messed up, right?
Yeah.
Like you own that. But it's more of at that moment in time when you made that decision, there was a reason why you made that decision. And you got to go with it because you already made it. And there's no breaking it. There's no nothing at that point. Right. So that's why I say regret's not really something that, in my mind anyway, that people should follow in life or even make as an excuse, quote unquote. Put that in quotation marks. But But yeah, that's what happened.
Well, it's just not life lesson, but learning experience.
Yeah, learning. Chalk it up as a learning experience.
Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know.
God, and Rick, I was just telling you in the car, Ric Flair said that a learning experience, L, loss. Okay, there you go. There you go. I see it now. He's so clever.
But back to the game. Hard for me to follow that up. But he introduced me to WCW versus the World. Or, hold on. Right?
WCW versus NWO.
Sorry. WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Yeah, that was a great game.
On the N64.
That was a great game.
I had never seen anything like it. I believe there was like a light and heavy grab.
You tapped A for light. You held A for the heavy grab.
And then I was hooked.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that probably brought me back to wrestling. 97, yeah.
That was a good game because I remember we used to play that all the time, and like, how do you do the special move? And you're like, figure it out. Figure it out.
Can't give you all the details.
I'm like, you bitch. Losing with douchebaggery.
But that game, that was it.
Yeah, that's what hooked me on wrestling games too. Like, I know there was like the wrestling games that came out like earlier before, like the arcade ones and stuff like that. But those didn't really like.
They were like.
They're like meh.
Yeah. What, just A, B, kick, punch, run back and forth. And they were not motion capture, but.
Yeah, I think they were.
What would you.
Yeah, they're motion captured. Yeah. No.
No, they weren't like 3D. They were just, I guess, what do you call it? 2D.
They were
like
2D, but I think they were motion captured because Mortal Kombat was motion captured.
Okay.
It was just 2D motion captured.
Yeah. And the next game that followed that up was the WCW versus NWO World Tour. Remember that game?
Yeah, I do. Wait, WCW versus the World? What the fuck was that?
No, World Tour. All right, am I getting my eyeballs?
Yeah, you getting that all messed up. The next one was
WCW NWO Revenge.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one because you want to know something? The soundtrack for that was amazing. You know what? I've said this about multiple damn games in our podcast, but I'm telling you what, music is a huge thing for me, and that's what makes some games.
Yeah,
that soundtrack in that game was amazing. Was awesome. Sometimes I play it when I play Call of Duty. Just to bring the pace of the level and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is fast paced. I'm gonna put on something nice. I'm gonna put on some rock. I'm ready to go, baby.
So the company that worked on WCW, was it AKI and THQ? They also worked on WWF at WrestleMania 2000 and also the other great game, WWF No Mercy.
A lot of memories for those games.
Yeah.
A lot of memories.
Gosh.
Sorry, I was
reminiscing.
Yeah, I was reminiscing too, but at the same time, I was watching a clip on Samurai Champloo. Forgive me.
So I don't remember if WrestleMania 2000 featured branching paths, but I know No Mercy did.
No, WrestleMania did not. I think it was like it didn't really have a story. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that one having a story.
No, it's just like you did the division, you fought whoever you had to fight. I think it was like 4 or 5 matches, and the 6th match, you had the championship.
Title fight, yeah.
Yeah, No Mercy definitely had a storyline that you could do and branch off and all the rest of good stuff.
Yeah, followed that storyline of whatever the storyline in WWF was going on.
Was it 2001?
Yeah.
I think so. That was before the invasion, though.
Yes. Yeah, before all
it was right before the invasion.
Craziness happened.
Oh, God, yeah. No one watched wrestling then. I was like, yeah, this is too much. I will say, out of all of the AKI, THQ wrestling games that came out, obviously No Mercy would be the best one, right? Because of all the feature-rich customizations, things you can do in it. Again, soundtrack, great. My favorite actually is WrestleMania 2000.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess it would be the memories that we had. Like the first time you could customize, the first time you could actually create a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, I had the guy. I had a big buff black man with a goatee that I could never grow, and the Matt Hardy shirt that was white, in the Matt Hardy pants that were like green. I don't know why I picked green, but I picked green.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you can have them like a mixture.
Pants.
Yeah, the cargo pants. So I mean, like you could have a guy who was like super good in the aerial combat and power moves and quick. Like your guy could be anything and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like this is crazy. This is awesome. Like you can literally dominate a match. And when you created a wrestler, you dominated a match every time. Like you could submission, you can do all kinds of stuff. And they just outdid themselves. They just really did. And now you got No Mercy that came out afterwards, and No Mercy, weapons, ladders, like all kinds of stuff you could use in the tables.
Chairs, oh my.
Yeah. Tables, chairs, fucking stop signs, garbage can lids. You can wrestle in the back.
That's right. They did bring
backstage fights. You could do that. There was so many things. Like it was so feature rich.
On an N64.
On N64. Get that. And there was another wrestling game after that one.
Which one?
It didn't come out in the States. It was in Japan.
No, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name?
Let me look it up because I recently found it not too long ago. And my intention was to look at the soundtrack for it.
Because I remember recently, before WWF bought WCW and ECW, THQ and they were working on another WCW game.
Mm-hmm.
But since WCW was purchased, they couldn't really work on that game anymore. And that game turned into Def Jam Vendetta.
That's right. I'm trying to see what this THQ... And N64, I mean, not N64, Def Jam Vendetta was actually amazing. I enjoyed all of them.
So they came out with Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York.
But hey, let's back it up real quick before we go over there.
Yeah.
So THQ also came out with Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. You remember that?
I do not.
That was the first ever THQ wrestling game, and it was actually on PlayStation.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They had that. There was another one. So they had that, and that's what brought upon WCW World Tour.
Okay.
And then that's when we had WrestleMania 2000. And also another reason why WrestleMania 2000 was my favorite, because that was like my favorite Christmas. We got everything that year. That year we got everything we wanted. Well, at least I did. I don't know about anybody else, but I know I did.
Yeah. Wow, 2000.
Yeah, it is. I found it. I found the wrestling game. It is called, if I can get it, it'd be great. Okay, well, they won't tell me. I mean, I found it, but it won't say what it is. But I think it's called. Nope, that's not it either. It's some Japanese game, but it has all the Japanese wrestlers on it.
Oh, okay. It's like New Japan.
Yeah, it was like New Japan Wrestling or something like that. But that was the latest one after No Mercy.
Right. So I saw a list that, New Japan, they were just dropping wrestling games.
Mm-hmm. And then, now on to Def Jam. Def Jam Vendetta. I mean, Def Jam Vendetta.
I guess we can put that in wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, by that. I mean, it's basically the same moves and everything like that. It resonated to us because it was hip hop. It was one of our main genres that we listened to in music, hip hop and R&B. How many times did we sit at night watching BET uncensored, uncut, right? And don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Yeah. And then watching 106 in Park and all the rest of good stuff, and all those
Big
shows.
Tigger in the basement.
Yeah, the basement. What you saying? What you mean I'm funny? You remember when Ghostface was saying that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Big Ticket was like, "Oh, you funny dude, man." He's like, "Well, what's that mean? What makes me funny?" But yeah, all those shows actually really influenced those games.
Yeah,
and You know, that was something as, you know, us being colored people that really resonated with us. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Like something that's relatable. You know what I mean? And, you know, it was a real breath of fresh air because
I guess they have the representation.
Yeah. It was representation. It's like, oh yeah, you know, like people like can see like what I listen to or some of the personalities of some of these rappers and whatnot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously, I don't think they were voiced. Well, they were voiced by it. They were voiced by it. So they were voiced by them. You can hear their voices. You can see their style of what they wear and all the rest of that good stuff. And it wasn't so much like look at my culture. Look at my culture. It wasn't anything like that. But it's just like, oh wow, it's like really spreading like what I like. You know what I mean? And then obviously, not everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, this is awesome, right? Some people are gonna be turned off by it. That's okay. Not everyone likes everything, you know. But it was just nice to see that representation. It really was, because you didn't see that.
No,
you never seen that at that time.
No. What are we? Def Jam 2003. Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, that was 2003. I was a freshman in high school at that time. You know, so I mean, I was still trying to find my identity as a person.
Right.
So it was nice. It was nice to see that, and you know, it was great. There was great games. I think the first Def Jam, and was it Vendetta and then Fight for New York? You know, so to be honest with you, I liked Vendetta better than Fight for New York.
I don't remember any. I don't even remember if I played Fight for New York. I want to say
I played a little bit, but
I don't.
I didn't really care about it.
It was memorable. And then Icon, I never played.
Yeah, I kind of never played either. I just didn't really.
That wasn't the greatest.
No. But I mean, I think that was more of a cash grab than anything, because the first two were pretty similar.
Yes,
in a sense. But yeah, the Icon was on a whole totally different system, wholly different engine. And, you know, they're going to try to innovate something a bit different. It's like, look, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And it definitely wasn't broke.
No.
But yeah, so you had that. What was the next ones that were pretty popular that we played? I know, did you play any of the SmackDowns?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, SmackDowns were great. I think I played the first one, the first ever that came out on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. That was it called? No,
I think they came out early 2000s, I believe. I think it was like 2001 or something like that.
Let's see. If SmackDown. Yes, 2000. Then SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, came out 2000 as well. Really? Dropped them both in the same year? Gosh.
You know, I mean, they were pumping out wrestling games like it was nothing back then.
SmackDown, Just Bring It 01, Shut Your Mouth 02. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, they still do.
Still do now that...
Do you play the current WWE 2K games?
I have 2K23 on PC, but I never played it. I'll probably purchase 2K24, because, I mean, each one has like different wrestling features. I'll probably get it when it's like $6 or something like that. But just something to add to the collection, maybe. But these later wrestling games, especially the 2K ones, they're really good.
They're
really good.
I started at 14. I picked up 15. Did I get 16? Yes, I got 16. That's the one that was on 16.
Was it Brock Lesnar?
No, now I gotta look.
16 was either Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton. Had to have been Brock. Lord, forgive me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was one with Stone Cold on the cover, actually.
Oh, okay, Stone Cold. That was close. They look the same. No, I'm kidding.
But 17, Brock was on the cover.
Okay, gotcha.
I did not pick that one up, but the latest one that I picked up was 18 with Seth Rollins on the cover.
Seth freaking Rollins, bro.
Yes.
I don't even watch wrestling, and I know that. Oh, by the way, our nieces watch wrestling. They love wrestling.
It's very good.
Yeah. Dad took them to
oh, that's right.
To a Raw on Monday Night Raw in Orlando too long ago.
Took them over there. I forgot about that. So I can go see Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't watch as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to, when I had Peacock, I would just check out the pay-per-view, because you can figure out their feud. And
oh, yeah.
Because then they'll play the little vignette before their match. And you're like, oh, this is why they're wrestling each other. Oh,
It's like, oh, it's kind of stupid, but okay. I get it.
I mean, for a kid or someone younger, I think it's a little different because it's probably something I haven't seen before.
Mhm.
Then as you get older and you keep seeing it over and over again, it's like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
So let's talk about the worst wrestling games you've played. Because we've talked about the good ones already. I mean, this is on opinion, on a whim, but the ones we just touched on, those are probably ones that most people would say, yeah, those are fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would say that WWF Attitude or WWF Warzone would be like the
early
top
versions. Tier. No, I was thinking of something like Super Nintendo, like we were talking about the little photo capture.
Well, I mean, those ones were pretty good, to be honest with you. A lot of people would go back to those and play those, like majority. I mean, maybe not us because I didn't really have any interest in doing that one. I know Capcom came out with a wrestling game that was kind of tied to Final Fight, I believe, and that's why there was some Final Fight characters in it. I can't remember what it was, but that one was fun. I remember playing that one.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a worst because I mean they've improved over the years. Like each year they got better and better. So I don't know if what's your worst game?
I would say WCW Mayhem.
Oh, yeah, I've heard stories.
That was
I never played it.
That game was awful.
Was that bad?
It was bad.
Oh my gosh.
Bad. It was terrible, man. It's like you would do a move, right? Like you do a suplex, and then the commentator would be like, vertical suplex. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to say this? And yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I played it because, I mean, it was something to play.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the game. It was wrestling, but I mean, you know, you pick Goldberg, you'll spear people and do a vertical suplex and then pin them, you know? At that time, you know, I would say my gauge for what good games were wasn't that great. I just played them.
Right.
Now it's just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now I can pay the money to buy these games and make that decision as opposed to I can't pay the money to buy these and I have to at least like it somewhat or find some way to like it because I'm not going to get anything else for a while.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say WCW Mayhem. It was
I've heard stories.
Awful.
Gosh,
awful.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it was awful. It was an awful game. Now that I look back at it. But the Warzone games weren't bad. I mean, Warzone and Attitude wasn't bad.
There were limitations at the time, but
still,
as far as the model figure with the little
chop hands,
yeah,
T-posing,
yeah,
you know, T-posing.
But the customization was good.
Just about to mention that. Yeah, the customization was great.
Because that's what I remember about that game. Like, I don't know, even now I spend more time creating my wrestler, creating their move set rather, and creating their entrance and than actually playing the damn game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's I remember, you can do all that stuff in that game. I remember that. Kind of jumping back to the THQ, you know, AEW Fight Forever.
Mm-hmm.
I have that.
You have it?
Yeah, I have that.
How is it?
It's great. It's literally if you're literally trying to play like the N64 version of those games again, that's it.
That's okay.
Because THQ like made it so where it was like very similar, which is nice. It's kind of like how Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's kind of the same thing as, well, not the same, but very similar to Tenkaichi 3.
Okay.
Like it's like, wow, this is like I can pick this up, I can play this. I don't have to deal with any type of learning a new system. I can just go and do it because I know how. I remember the moves and stuff. Now some of them I probably won't, so I'll have to like, you know, figure it out, you know. But yeah, THQ came out with AEW Fight Forever, and it was delicious. It's good. When it came out, it was very bare bones.
Oh, okay. So they made updates over time.
Yeah, so they made updates over time. A lot of people were just like, "Oh, this game's horrible. The graphics." It's like, bro, it's supposed to be like
just a simple game.
a successor to the other games, the most popular wrestling games that came out. Stop. I had to tell a lot of people to stop because they're stupid. Well, no, Let me not say that.
They're just expecting.
They're ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
They're ignorant to the fact that, yes, they're expecting something more when it should be simple, like those wrestling games were, the THQ wrestling games, very simple.
Yeah.
And if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's like the third time I've said this today.
Yes.
So, but yeah, wrestling games, I think the 2K games have really kind of taken up the market.
Mm-hmm.
So then, AEW Fight Forever is one of the few niche wrestling games that have came out, while 2K has been the thing for wrestling.
TNA, but
TNA came out with a game, Wrestling Impact? Years ago?
Long time ago.
When was this?
Let me look at my list.
Look at your list. Lord, forgive me. Sorry. We're getting tired over here.
Oh, where'd my list go? There we go. TNA. So you have TNA Impact, which came out in 2008. And TNA Wrestling, I guess this was a mobile game in 2008. Then TNA Impact Cross the Line came out for the Nintendo DS and PlayStation Portable in 2010. And then another TNA Impact 2011 for, I guess, your phone.
Man, so. I never played any of them. But I guess TNA is another wrestling circuit that, I never really put any stock into.
Mm-hmm.
Never really watched it or anything like that. Oh, you remember the backyard wrestling games?
Yes. I don't know. Somehow,
I thought of that.
Upon them searching YouTube. I was like, wow,
they're insane.
The wall.
Yeah, they're insane. I'm like, oh wow, I remember, what was it? I think Steve bought one from GameStop one day, and we actually were sitting down playing it. I'm like, this is insane. Like, what? It's kind of like it's literally watching those backyard wrestling videos on YouTube. That's what exactly that is. I'm just like, this is insane. This game is ridiculous. I mean, it was fun for a little bit, but other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't rate them super high on the list, but right. I mean, if you
want to laugh,
you want a good laugh, that was it. That was really it. I just thought of that too. I was like, oh my God, backyard wrestling. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Those were good ones. But
back when companies were throwing stupid money at things, everyone was like, oh, we'll just do this.
Backyard wrestling. It's kind of like back when Kimbo Slice was fighting people in the backyard. rest his soul. His soul. But that was kind of around the time backyard wrestling was a huge thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know, I guess you call it extreme wrestling or beating people up with objects, items.
With tubed lights. There you go. There you go.
The whole don't try this at home thing. So,
do you remember, did they, if I remember correctly, did they have commercials for backyard wrestling? Those infomercials and stuff like that? Did they have that?
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure. If anything, a local network type thing.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's videos out for that type of stuff. Oh boy. You know what? That's what I'm going to do tonight. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to see some fooked up stuff today. Wow.
All right. Before we finish this up, and just do few little questions here. So who are your top 5 wrestlers?
Top 5 would have to be Scott Hall. This is not in order. So Scott Hall, Ultimate Warrior, even though Ultimate Warrior is in real life was a dick, but rest his soul and rest Scott Hall's soul too.
That's still so crazy. Make that speech and all of a sudden,
What? Which one?
So he made a speech on Raw after WrestleMania. I guess him and
Scott Hall or Ultimate Warrior?
Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
I guess he kissed and made up with Vince and WWE, and then the next day, I guess he had a heart attack?
He had a heart attack, yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, check out the video that he made.
I will check that out. But you want to know something? That I guess that's kind of those that believe in God, and I guess, and don't. That's fine too. But, whether you believe or not, I feel that there is some divine intervention in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he felt that there was something there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe my time is soon, because maybe he probably knew his health wasn't that great anyway.
Right.
Obviously didn't know he was gonna have a heart attack, but maybe something told him like, hey, maybe I need to go ahead and do what I need to do. And once he did it, he felt at peace, and he went home. It was time to go.
Yeah.
We're all appointed one day, ladies and gentlemen. We're all appointed one day. Hopefully not soon, but enough to where you can go ahead and leave your legacy in some way, shape, or form. So I'm just going to leave you with that little tidbit. But so Scott Hall, Ultimate Warrior, Owen Hart, surprisingly, Ric Flair, Rey Mysterio.
Okay. It's a good list there.
There's my top 5.
Yeah.
I have a couple more, but
I know
we'll just
there's
do
a
the
bunch
5.
of great wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
So I just was like, let's do top 5. But yeah, I kind of have the same thing, no particular order, but I am going to get an honorable mention.
Oh, shit.
To Stone Cold.
Ooh, I didn't know you were a Stone Cold guy. That
Not
makes me
really,
happy.
But without him, some of the other guys wouldn't be elevated to where they were.
Fair.
So I kind of have a tie. So I guess that blows out my top 5.
Okay.
But Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle.
Chris Benoit, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, wrestling side.
Yeah.
Personal life stuff. The Undertaker, Triple H, Bret Hart, and of course, The Rock.
And millions.
But yeah, it was great watching him improve on his promos.
Who? The Rock?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His promos were ridiculous. His promos were funny as hell. Who are you two Rudy Poos? The fuck is a Rudy Poo?
Right.
What?
Right. Oh, it was great. Do you have a top 5 entrance theme song, I guess?
The Rock's second theme song.
Okay.
His second so his first remix to If You Smell the Rock's Cooking. Triple H. D-Generation X. Badass Billy Gunn. I'm an ass man. Bam, bam.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm an ass man. Bam, bam. Yeah. Yeah. Because I like butts.
Right.
I cannot lie. And who would be my 5th one? Oh, Gangrel. Gangrel.
So he's on my list.
Okay.
Then I have Batista.
Okay.
I Walk Alone. Then I have Triple H. The Game.
Yeah. I said Triple H, didn't I? Did I say Triple H? Okay.
Then I have Chris Jericho.
Oh, damn
Break
it.
the walls down.
Yeah. That was a good one too.
And then Randy Orton.
Can I have an honorable mention?
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Okay. I could see that.
I know I'm sexy. I got the look. Yeah. And that's because also we have similar names, so it's all right.
Yeah.
My middle name is Michael. So hey, there you go.
It works out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the last one is a dream match. I couldn't think of 2. I only could think of 1. But what if you could think of what would be your dream match?
I can easily think of 2.
Okay.
Easily. So I would like The Rock. Oh, who was it? And Andre the Giant.
Okay.
The Rock and Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would do Stone Cold and Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay.
The tag team match.
Yeah.
The Bushwhackers in 3D.
Hold on. The Okay.
The Bushwhackers, like
no.
dudes that walk like this. Yeah.
No, I was thinking they made an appearance, but I think they were on the same team.
Oh, as the Dudley Boys?
Well, not the same team. So thinking of, I want to say they brought them out. I'll have to go back. It was like a Raw anniversary edition, and they had a bunch of tag teams come out, and kind of was it the new Legion of Doom they were trying to put on, and just had all the older tag teams just destroy them. Maybe not. Okay, that's Bushwhackers in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. Devon, get the tables.
Get the tables. Get the tables.
I didn't even think of a tag team one. So my singles match would be Bret Hart against Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be an interesting one.
Cream of the crop, baby. The cream of the crop.
If I had to do a tag team, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of speechless on that one.
Well, think of like great tag teams, man. Because the Bushwhackers were a really good tag team.
I just don't remember any tag teams from early.
What about Laurinaitis? The Laurinaitis and what's his name?
Legion of Doom?
Yeah. You think they would have a good...
I didn't like them. I wasn't a fan.
I wasn't a fan either, but they could have easily like, who would they could have gone up with? They could have gone up against the Nation with Bradshaw and Farouk. That would have been a good one.
Yeah. Acolyte Protection Agency.
Yeah. Yeah, Farouk was losing his hair. I was figuring when he was going to cut that stuff off.
Just let it go, man.
Yeah, just let it go, bro. Just let it go. I mean, yeah. So this gentleman, I forgot his name, but he would come into GameStop when I was in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And he had locks and he would wear a hat or a beanie or something like that because, it's cold up there.
Right.
And I remember one time, like, he came in with this girl and we were talking all the rest because we've been talking for a little while. This man, like, took off his beanie for a minute because he was trying to, like, scratch his non-existent hair in the front of his head.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, because I have locks too, obviously, because y'all haven't seen me, or a lot of you haven't seen me if you are listeners that don't know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I was thinking to myself, why hasn't he let those go yet? Because, oh my God, I could not live like Farouk. I could not live and wear a hat or a beanie all day, every day. I couldn't do it. I just let it go. But I mean, he's a cool dude though. But yeah, no. His locks were long too, man. They were like down his mid back. I was like,
probably why he wasn't.
Nah, man, no. If you can't, if it don't look good, if it doesn't look good in the front, but it's a party in the back, like no, it's got to be a party everywhere, man. It's got to look good everywhere. And I hope to God I don't have to go through all that. I don't think I will, but you never know. Yeah, you never know. I'm not trying to. Let me knock on wood real quick. But yeah, so no tag team match?
No, man. Nothing. Of course, one probably pop in my head like at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But no.
All right. Before we leave, I got a question.
Yes.
Excuse me. Out of the series of wrestlers Triple H has gone against in his storyline, because I know you're a big Triple H guy.
You don't even choose one?
Yeah. Who do you think was the best series that he went up against?
The best. I mean, what comes to mind, Triple H is, I guess we can call him Mankind, Mick Foley.
Okay. Do you want to? So that's who you said, Mankind?
Yeah, Mick Foley, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you want to do post quad tear or pre quad tear?
Oh man, when did he tear his quad?
I think it was like 2000.
2000.
Came back a menace.
Sure did.
He came back a menace, bro.
Sure did.
I was like, holy shit. he got so big.
I mean, what? Him, Undertaker, Stone Cold. Did we ever get a Rock? Yeah, we got Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, best one. It was Raw. And I think it's when Chris Jericho recently came in.
Mm-hmm.
And Jericho, quote unquote, won the title. I remember calling Chris. It's like 11. I'm like, oh my God. No way this happened. But then, of course, it was like, nope, they came back. Disqualification. And I was like, nonsense. But yeah.
Yeah, him and Chris Jericho had a good series too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like I said, I wanted to ask because I know you like Triple H. So and Triple H is good.
It was one of those, I don't think I liked his Hunter Hearst Helmsley character, but when he came back, Triple H, bulk buff Triple H, I guess, then I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's also nice to see, like, that's like a complete different character.
Yeah, it's 180.
Nothing like, hey, we'll just change your color here. This is like,
yeah, he was a menace when he came back, man. He was beating everybody. He was beating people with sledgehammers and
yes.
And pedigreeing everybody he could see, and yeah, he was something, man. He was something, and he could sell. He could sell very well.
About selling, yes. The Rock kind of did something similar with his character, but he just got better. Well, they put a mic on him, and his charisma and microphone work elevated him. But he kind of was the same.
'Cause I am the game.
That will never get old.
And this is the GamePad Saga.
I see what you did there.
And we are signing out. 'Cause I'm going to sleep after I drive home.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoy this show. Appreciate you listeners.
I'm the game.
Brother, thank you for joining me once again.
Yes, thank you.
We out.
We out of y'all.